Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Fluency Tips. Today, I want to talk about something that might surprise you. It's one of the most important skills when learning English: listening. You might think speaking or reading is the key, but listening is actually the foundation. Let's dive into why. When you're learning any new language, you first need to get familiar with how it sounds. Think about when we were kids. Did we start by reading books or practicing grammar? No, we listened. Babies spend months listening to people around them before they even say their first word. They absorb the sounds, the tone, and the rhythm of the language. That's exactly how listening works for us when learning English. Imagine this: you're a baby again, lying in a crib, hearing your parents talk. You don't understand the words, but the melody of their voices soothes you. You hear laughter, questions, and comforting tones. This rich environment is crucial. Listening is not just about hearing, it's about connecting with the emotions behind the words. Let me tell you a story about a student of mine named Arun. Arun was really good at grammar and could write well, but every time he had to speak English, he struggled. He would mix up words, and his pronunciation wasn't quite right. It was heartbreaking to see him feel so frustrated. He told me, "I don't understand why I'm still having trouble after all this practice." His voice was filled with doubt. I asked him a simple question: "How much time do you spend listening to English?" Arun was surprised. He hadn't thought of that. Many students, just like him, focus so much on memorizing grammar rules and vocabulary lists that they often overlook the importance of listening. So I suggested that he start spending a little time each day listening to English speakers, whether it's through podcasts, videos, or even music. At first, he felt lost, like it wasn't helping. I remember him saying, "It just feels like noise and I can't catch anything." But I reassured him, saying, "That's perfectly okay. You're planting the seeds. Over time, you'll see them grow." And grow they did. After a few weeks, he started noticing something remarkable. He could understand conversations better. Words that used to confuse him now made sense. His pronunciation improved and his confidence grew. It was like watching a flower bloom. He came to me one day, eyes wide with excitement, and said, "I was listening to a podcast while cooking, and I actually understood the whole conversation." What happened to Arun is something that can happen to all of you. Listening helps you in so many ways. First, it improves your pronunciation. Think about tricky words like thought, though, and through. They may look similar, but they sound completely different. If you're only reading these words, you won't pick up on those differences. But when you listen, you learn how native speakers say them. Listening also helps you build vocabulary. Imagine watching a movie in English. You hear a character say, "I'm feeling under the weather today." Now, if you haven't heard that phrase before, it might confuse you. But listening in context helps you understand that under the weather means they're feeling sick. You see, you're not just learning new words, you're learning how they're used in everyday conversations. Think of how you felt the first time you watched a movie in English. Maybe it was overwhelming at first, but with each watch, you started recognizing phrases, laughter, and emotions. It's a beautiful experience, isn't it? Another reason listening is so important is that it makes your speaking sound more natural. You can memorize grammar rules all day, but real life conversations don't always follow textbook rules. By listening to real English, whether it's a podcast, a conversation, or a song, you're learning how people actually speak. You pick up on things like tone, rhythm, and common expressions, which you can then use in your own conversations. Now, I can sense some of you thinking, how can I practice listening? It's easier than you think. Start by choosing something you enjoy. If you love music, listen to English songs and pay attention to the lyrics. If you like cooking, watch cooking shows in English. You'll not only learn new vocabulary, but also see how sentences are formed. You don't need to understand every word at first. The important thing is to keep exposing yourself to the language. Let's take a moment here to reflect. Picture this. You've just finished a long day and you sit down to relax with your favorite TV show in English. At first, you feel a bit tense. Will you understand? But as you get into it, laughter spills out and you realize that you understand more than you thought. That feeling of connection, of understanding, is what makes listening so powerful. A great way to make listening easier is to use English subtitles. This helps you connect the words you hear with how they're written. Over time, you'll rely less on subtitles as your brain starts catching the meaning naturally. I often encourage my students to try watching their favorite movies in English with subtitles in English. It's a fun way to learn. Here's another tip. After you listen to something, try to repeat what you heard. Let's say you've watched a short video or listened to a podcast. Pause and repeat some of the sentences or phrases. This helps with both pronunciation and memory. You're training your brain to process the language faster and more accurately. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, repeating a phrase until you feel it rolling off your tongue effortlessly. It might feel silly at first, but soon it becomes second nature. Remember, learning English is a journey, and listening is a powerful tool that will take you far. The more you listen, the more natural the language will feel. Just like Arun, who went from being unsure to confident in his speaking, you can improve too. So start making listening a regular part of your day. Whether it's through podcasts, videos, or even talking to friends in English, the more you listen, the better you'll understand. And soon enough, you'll be speaking with ease and confidence. I encourage you to keep a listening journal. Write down the new phrases you hear and try to use them in your conversations. This practice reinforces your learning and helps you track your progress. Each new word or phrase is like a stepping stone on your journey to fluency. And remember, the beauty of language is in its community. Engage with others. Share what you've learned. Maybe find a language partner to practice with. The act of conversing in English will solidify your listening skills. I can't tell you how many students have blossomed simply by sharing their thoughts in English. That's all for today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more tips on mastering English fluency. Remember, every step you take in listening brings you closer to becoming a fluent English speaker. See you next time.